Today, we got a big power station from OUPES. Let's open it up. We got that double box action. Oh my goodness. All right, comes with a nice retail box here. Let's take a look, see what we've got. So it's the OUPES MEGA 2 power station. They have a MEGA 3 and a MEGA 5. This is a new model that's a smaller model. It says it's a lithium iron phosphate battery with 3,500 plus cycles to 80%. Has smart control and monitoring via the OUPES app. It's got fast charging speed. So our battery capacity is 2,048 watt hours. It has a Anderson input for the PV. It can do 12 to 150 volt DC at 15 amps for 2,100 watts. Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome. Our AC charge input, 100 to 124 volt AC at 16 amps. So it says 1,600 watts charging from the AC. So that would be a pretty fast charge rate. Our AC output is 2,500 watts. So we got a 2,500 watt AC inverter. Oh, it has a TT 30 amp outlet. So that's like the thing that, that's like the outlet that you usually see on an RV. So that's awesome. So we do 12 volt at 10 amp on the DC output. We got an Anderson output that'll do 30 amps. We got USB-A and USB-C. The USB-C is 100 watt. Our weight is 53.35 pounds. Awesome, let's just open this thing up. All right, so we've got some stuff. Let's see what we got. All right, looks like we got our car charger. We've got our AC charging cable. We've got our solar cable. We've got some kind of Anderson to barrel jack plug. And then we've got an Anderson to Anderson. Our user's manual. All right, guys, and there's the beast. It's a pretty sizable unit, and this is just the two. They have a 3 and a 5, like I said. I couldn't imagine how much that 5 weighs. But let's see what we got here. We've got 4 USB-A ports. We've got our 2 USB power delivery ports here that are 100 watts. We've got our 4 20 amp AC receptacles. And check that out. We got that 30 amp RV receptacle. I'm definitely going to plug my RV into this thing. And we're going to play around with it and see what it can do. Then we've got our 12 volt cigarette lighter jack. And then we got a couple barrel jacks right there. We've got our screen. We got our IoT button. I believe that's going to turn on Wi-Fi. We've got an expansion battery port. And then on the other side, we've got solar or car charging input. We got our AC input. And then we've got a breaker, a resettable breaker here. You know we're going to put this thing through its paces. So let's go ahead and power it on. We had to hold the button down. Let's turn the AC output on. There we go. All right, so let's plug this heater in. There we go. And it is on max. So we are pulling 1,500 watts. And so while that's running that heater, let's go right to plugging in some solar. Okay, let's connect here. All right, so it looks like we're gaining some input wattage here. Going up, going up. Looks like we kind of capped out right there, and that's because we've got lots of shading on our panels here. We're going to have to let the sun come across and see if we can't get these to light up. Okay, so while that's doing that, let's also plug in our AC power. Here we go. Oh, right off the bat, Well, I saw it shoot up to like 1500 watts. Oh, here we go. Okay, I think what's happening is I heard a relay switch in here. And I think what's going on here is it has switched the AC input to the AC output. So it's running the AC output directly from the AC input. I believe that's what's happening here. That's why we're only seeing 250 of the watts going to actually charging. So I believe if we unplug this, we should see a lot more charging happening. There, now it's going up. But we're, okay, it's still going up. There it is. Now we're going. All right, check it out. We're doing over 1600 watts. So like almost 1700. I even saw 1700 at one. Yeah, there it went. It was 1700. So let me unplug the solar. We'll just do just AC. Yeah, about 15. Oh, 15. I saw 1580 briefly. Yeah, so it looks like it'll do between 15 and 1600 watts AC. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna go back to straight solar. And I want to see, let's turn the AC off. Yeah, so I'm just going to let that continue to charge on solar, and we'll wait and let the sun kind of move over and get this to where it's not shaded any longer, and we should be getting some pretty good power coming in. We'll check back. All right, guys, our panels are in full sun. So let's take a look and see what we've got. Here we go. We got 578 watts coming in from those two panels, guys. I'm really digging this guy's power station. Wow, this is really starting to kind of make it to where you don't need, you don't need all the components. You have these all-in-one power stations that are just becoming incredibly more powerful each iteration. This being able to do 2100 watts of solar, these things are just getting really impressive. I still like the idea of discrete components, charge controllers and batteries and things like that, because I like the idea of if one component fails, you just replace that. You don't have to replace your whole system. With this kind of thing, if the inverter goes out, or battery cell goes bad, or the charge controller, something goes wrong with the whole thing's kind of broken, unless the company's around to supply replacement parts or something like that. So that's definitely something to consider. This is super easy, obviously. I think it's even cheaper to go this route than multiple discrete components. But you definitely have to consider, this is, if anything goes out on it, the whole thing kind of goes out. One thing I want to do now is let's keep an eye on that wattage there, and I'm going to go shade a panel. I want to see if the power goes down and then comes back, because we've recently had one power station that we would shade a panel and the power level would go down, but it would never come back. All right, so I'm shading one panel. Let's take a look. It looks like we dropped everything out. That's interesting. What's going on there? Okay, now we're coming back. So we dropped out to 0 because I shaded one panel, and then we're having to rescan. So it's definitely a little bit on the slow side, rescanning the MPPT range, but let's let it keep going. Okay, it looks like we've kind of maxed out at about 244, and So that's the shading I did, that box on this one panel here. So we've gone back up to 244. Let's go look at, I'm going to put the camera back here so we can watch it. And then I'm going to go remove that box and see if we get back to our original, what was it, 540 or 560 or something. All right, box is off. So both panels are in full sun. It looks like we're going up a little. Okay, that took a very long time, but we are going back up, just so slow. Three, yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's still going up, but it is so taking so long. I feel like it's going to get back to the 500 and some, yeah, there it is. It's going to get to the 540 or 560 that we were at before, but it's so slow at it. There's 563 now. My goodness. Okay, well, it got there. It just took a very long time. That's the longest. That's one of the longest I've seen. I mean, it works. I'm going to do a smaller amount of shading on it and see what happens. Okay, so I just shaded just a few cells. Okay, we went down to 400 watts. And then I'm going to unshade those. And now we got back up fairly quick after that. So it seems like you really have to hard shade a lot, and then it does that thing where it takes a long time to get back up to the higher wattage. All right, so what I want to do, I want to put this white sheet over the panels. I think that's going to kind of simulate maybe a cloud, because it's still going to get sun through, but it's not going to hard shade it. I've never done it before, but I'm just speculating, so let's try it. Okay, so the sheet is on it, and we're down to 120 watts. So yeah, that did pretty well at kind of simulating maybe a cloud. So we're going back up. Yeah, so that's what I've got on it if you wanted to see. So, you know, if you looked underneath there, you're still getting sun, but it would be like kind of like with cloud cover. I'm gonna pull that sheet off. All right, so the cloud's out of the way and the sheet's off. Our simulated cloud, I guess you can say. Let's see how long it takes us to go back up. Yeah, okay. So, looks like it's taken us a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. Slower than most charge controllers, but it does get back up there within a few minutes. Although most of the other power stations I have reviewed, the solar charge controllers in them, they're much faster. So something to consider. I think if you're having a lot of cloud cover, you know, chunky clouds where the sun is weakening because of the clouds, the chunky clouds, and then it comes back and then goes away, comes back, goes away. This thing's probably going to harvest less because it's slow, whereas a fast MPPT charge controller would react to that change in solar radiation much quicker. All right, so I'm just going to let that thing charge up. All right, so this thing got fully charged earlier. What I want to do right now is I'm going to install the app. Let's see how well that works. And Unfortunately, it's one that they want you to sign up and create a login for. Alright, so I signed up, even though I didn't want to. I don't know why. It's necessary to sign up to connect to your device. But, okay. And press and hold the power button on the device for about 5 seconds. And something's supposed to be flashing, but I don't see anything flashing. Maybe if we press this IoT button. Let's try that. There it is. So you can have it connect to your Wi-Fi, but it also gives you the option to use Bluetooth direct connection. I'm going to use that instead. And it says it's added. Appears to be loading. Sure, it's taking a long time. Nothing really appears to be happening here. It's got the little indicator mark that it's doing something, but I don't see anything happening. I'm going to try my tablet. Alright, so I got their app loaded on my tablet. Let's see if it'll work on this. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working on either neither my phone nor my tablet. Now, I downloaded the app directly from the App Store. I didn't scan this little QR code over here. I tried to scan it on my phone, and it didn't work. So, let me try to scan it with my tablet. Okay, so my tablet finally was able to scan it. It has an APK we can download. I guess we can try that and see if there's something newer. Okay, so I finally got it installed from the APK. Let's try to run it here. Alright, so it found the device. Let's try to do something with it. Okay, there we go. Alright guys, so this app works. The one in the App Store does not. I would assume when this thing is available on their market, then they'll have the app in the App Store updated. Alright, so it shows input, output. It'll show a solar graph here. Shows we're 100% full here. The temperature of the unit. Then we've got some settings. We can name it. We'll leave it as Mega 2. Our temperature unit, we want that as Fahrenheit here. Timeout is 12 hours. Got a screen timeout of 5 minutes. AC timeout of 12 hours. So after 12 hours, I guess the AC will shut off. You can also set that to never. All right, good. Glad that the app does actually work. I want to check and see if we got a pure sine wave. So let's hook up our oscilloscope. And we do. We do have a pure sine wave. Awesome. And out of curiosity, one more thing I want to do here is I want to check this expansion battery plug. I want to see if we can get a voltage here. Look at that. We're showing 52.7 volts. So that's a 48 volt battery system. All right, guys, here's my travel trailer. If you have one of these, you probably have a 30 amp 110 volt plug, and we're going to plug that into the 30 amp plug right here on the power station. There we go. And let's turn the AC output on. There we go. And I would expect something to be drawing power. I think the refrigerator's on. There we go. All right, so we're drawing, looks like 60 watts on the screen here. Let's look at our app. Yeah, we got 54 watts on the app. 387 watts on the app now. Wow, I wonder what's using 380 watts. Is that the refrigerator? That's a lot of power. I have totally considered, you know, if this refrigerator really does pull that much power, I may remove it, because I do want to make this thing off grid at some point. But that's just way too much power. You know, look, we're just continuously pulling 363. Now that could also be the battery charger too, but I think the battery should be pretty much full. I know what we could do. We could turn the refrigerator off and see what happens. No, we're still pulling. Oh, we lost connection. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're only drawing 21 watts. My goodness, that refrigerator uses so much power. Clearly you can't really get too far away from this without losing connection. Alright, so we're only pulling 19 watts right now. That's probably the battery charger, I would assume. Do we want to try the air conditioner? I don't think it's going to run this thing. I think this thing it draws too much startup current. I wonder if we can do the microwave. Yeah, it's running. Ah, of course we lost we can't connect again. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of range with this app. But yeah, it looks like we're doing 1770 watts. And we could run that for, I don't know, an hour roughly. Alright, well, let's turn the microwave off. And let's try it. I don't think it's gonna work. Are you kidding me? I think it started. Oh wow, it started my AC. Let's see. Oh, we're pulling 830 watts. I didn't think this thing was going to start that AC. I really, really did not. Looks like we could run it for 2 hours. You know, if we had enough solar on this thing, you know, if we had over 1,000 watts of solar, which this thing can take 2,100, I could run that air conditioner. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for the video. Give me your comments, of course, about this unit, what you think about it. I'm not sure how much it's going to retail for, but it seems like, you know, if it's a fairly good price, like it's below some of the other big names, then it may definitely be something to consider. I didn't seem to have any problems with it. I think the only thing I would gripe about a little bit is how slow it is with the solar, how slow it is to raise the wattage back up after it's been shaded, which probably wouldn't be too big of an issue in most cases. But you know, if you had this inside a vehicle, for example, like a van or an RV, and you're wanting to charge it up as you're traveling, you could be getting shadows cast on your solar panels, you know, especially going under overpasses and whatnot. Then it would take some time to recover back up to the full wattage. Also on days where there's a lot of chunky clouds, that might be kind of an issue. Other than that, I don't really have anything negative. So that's going to be it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.